well, how's it a threat to say death to America? Listen, they could say that all they want, but that's not a threat.
They definitely said more than that, but
Well, then what did they say that was the threat that justified starting the war?
I mean, do you want me to pull it up right now?
I do.
I mean, okay. I mean, I don't know the exact stuff of why they did. Like, you know why they started the war.
Well, I mean, I think that Donald Trump started this war on the basis of a lie. That lie being that they poised an imminent nuclear threat, and he started the war to. How could they poise an imminent nuclear threat with no enriched uranium?
Because they could have had nukes we didn't know about. And what are...
Wait, but Donald Trump said that he knew they poised an imminent nuclear threat. So this would be having nukes that we knew about. Okay, but once again, Tulsi Gabbard and the head of counterterrorism both said that we completely obliterated all of their uranium enrichment months ago.
All of the ones that
they haven't even restarted to rebuild their programs. And you keep on going back to the ones that we know about. Okay, well, if they have nukes that we don't know about, then we don't know that they posed an imminent nuclear threat. But Donald Trump claimed that he knew they posed an imminent nuclear threat.
Well, maybe...
So what knowledge was obtained by our government. Okay.
Yeah, because he knows more than you.
No, but he doesn't know more than the director of national intelligence. He doesn't know more than the head of counterterrorism.
You're saying the president doesn't know more than them?
Yeah, not in reference to a country like Iran possessing nuclear weapons. Because it's actually their job to collect the intel in which they then share with the president, specifically on that one subject.
Right. So you just think Donald Trump started this war for what then?
Well, I want you to clarify what the imminent nuclear threat was before.
The imminent nuclear threat was the threat of us not knowing if they did or didn't have nukes. So
therefore, we can't truly ever know if any country does or doesn't have nukes. So, are you arguing here that we'd be totally justified in just obliterating any country based upon a lack of certain
without
knowledge
hurting
of
civilians? I wouldn't mind it.
You wouldn't mind just going to war with every other country on the face of the planet?
If it didn't hurt civilians, I mean, I don't see a problem. Honestly, I think we could, if it didn't hurt civilians, I think we should just run the world. I'm not even trolling. What? Do you not think that the whole world should be the United States, but if there was a way to do that without hurting civilians?
Is Donald Trump's war in Iran hurting civilians?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so then in virtue of that fact, you condemn it, right?
I mean, I don't agree with it only because it affects me personally, so I don't really want the war to be going on, but, I mean, I can see why.
I'm sorry, dude. That guy's just so incoherent, right? I'm trying my best here to, track what he was saying, and it was just all, so nonsensical. It's honestly, difficult for me to keep up with. Do you support Trump?
Will you at least co-host me?
Get out of here, bro. We have, a new fetus every week that finds their way into the lives, dude. Get out of here. Do you support Trump? Hello?
Yeah, I do.
How old are you?
34.
Is this KP?
Yeah, it's KP.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
No, I'm not. It's just funny because somebody came to me saying that I ran from you, but really you blocked me.
If you were blocked, then how are you in my stream right now?
This is another account I had.
If I blocked you, then why would I not know that this is another account that you had and asked a dumbass question such as, if you were blocked, how are you in the stream right now?
You did block me. You blocked the KP account.
One of my moderators probably blocked you, and for that, they're likely justified. I don't know. You probably said some fuck shit.
Okay.
But I just want to clarify. You made a whole second account to request to join my live.
No, it was just funny because you said that I left, and in reality, but if it was one of your moderators, then
moderators, by the way. Moderators,
then that's different.
Okay,
yeah,
so
that's different.
What do you want to talk about? Why are you here?
Well, I just wanted to first off say it was funny to hear
Diana,
Josh
thank you for the
cook
motorcycle.
you earlier because
he cooked me so hard.
He had a lot of great points.
Yeah, how did he cook me?
He really did. All his points were valid.
Name one.
Like him saying that Trump never said that he walked in on the Miss Teen USA.
Okay.
That
so
was
what
a
he
great
said is that
point.
he'd just walk into the dressing rooms of pageant women and girls, right?
Right.
Right.
No, he said women. He never said girls. He
So
said women.
he actually did
There's-
30 seconds before. I'll play you that part of the clip now. After this ad is done playing.
You own this pageant, you go over, you're meeting the girls and stuff. One of them comes up to you and says, Mr. Trump, you're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man. Right? Right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
I want to sleep with you. Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right.
So just to clarify, in that clip, Donald Trump is saying that he'd engage in sex with a girl, an underage minor, right?
Right. And what did Josh say? He was pointing out that it was interchangeable.
Okay, well, if the terms
So
are interchangeable, then when he says
But
woman right here,
But is everybody
Right,
okay? And you see
but-
these incredible looking women.
then we can't just take that to be certainly Donald Trump saying that it was adults.
Well, that's the thing. Would you consider a minor a woman?
Well, I mean, minor
He
girls
was
will
using
use the woman's restroom. So actually, yes, in a colloquial sense, there's many ways that we will refer to minors as women. There's a couple ways that we like all understand and agree to, right? Like we'll say that like the woman's restroom is only for women. Okay, but it's like also for girls. Okay, we're just assuming that girls are also allowed into that space under the temporary title of being a woman. And then there's many other senses in which we disagree with how minor girls are quote unquote womanized in many scenarios to justify many terrible things, right? And one of those scenarios would be sexual conduct. For a very long time, minors will be referred to as older than they act, or age is just a number, or you're more mature than you'd think you'd be for being 14, to then justify pedophilia, sexual abuse, and rape. Yeah, that's a thing that happens. Absolutely. It's probably the case that people who will take advantage of like little girls will call them women because it probably lands easier for like the ears of people like Howard Stern and the viewers of his radio show. But like once again, I just kind of think that you're overthinking this. I think that in that clip we hear the word woman and the word girl used interchangeably. Donald Trump owned pageants where girls competed. He owned pageants where women competed. We've heard from the women and we've heard from the girls. They all share the same story that this happened to them. So that's why I believe that it happened to both women and girls. And even just using like your argument that he didn't do this to the girls at Miss Teen USA and just the women at Miss USA. So if he did do it to the women at Miss USA, why wouldn't he do it to the girls at Miss Teen USA? If he's already demonstrated that he thinks it is acceptable to violate the consent of a woman by barging into her private space to look at her while she's naked, doesn't this significantly increase the likelihood that the girls that said he also did it to them were telling the truth?
I mean, I just think that it was like he was saying something used to smear his name. And it was ironic how right around that time, it was when he was running for president.
There's nothing ironic about that whatsoever. That's the first time these major institutions such as BuzzFeed likely
But
looked
like
into
he
him in
said
his past,
with
found that clip of him on Howard Stern, then started reaching out to the women and girls. Let me like give you an example here. So we have these neighbors, and both of them are reporting that their car has been stolen. Okay? And then a man admits to going into that neighborhood and stealing a car. Or stealing cars. Let me actually revise the hypothetical here to make it a little bit more analogous. Everybody ignore the last breath or two that came out of my mouth. We have a neighborhood where 4 people who live there have reported their car being stolen. And then we have a man who admitted to going into that neighborhood and stealing cars. Now, would it make more sense to say that he stole all of their cars, given that they all say he stole their car and he's admitted to stealing cars in that neighborhood? Or would it make more sense to say that, well, even though all 4 of them are saying that he stole my car, we're only going to pick and choose maybe 2 of the 4 whom we believe, right? That doesn't make too much sense. And that's kind of the way that I look at this Miss Teen USA, Miss USA situation of sexual exploitation. We have Donald Trump admitting to just going to the pageants he owned and sexually exploiting people by barging into their dressing rooms. And then we hear from the women and girls, they are all telling the same story, that this happened to them. I say we believe them all. You say that we only believe 50% of them. Why?
No, I didn't say you only believe 50% of them. I was saying his points were valid because he was saying that, like when he did the interview, that nobody came out. And he did the interview like during that pageant time, and then when he was running,
signed their paychecks.
Yeah, they didn't get paid. You don't get paid for being in a pageant. You get paid if you're like one of the winners.
He furthered their careers. He gave them money if they won. He was an icon in the beauty pageant space. I mean, fuck, he was the owner of Miss Universe. Like, I would argue here that like many of these women and girls had good reason for never saying anything publicly, because it would just completely destroy their career.
Not really. If you think about the fact that he had billions of dollars, that's like a big paycheck if they came out. But as soon as he wants to run for president, now this is something that's brought up. I don't know. I just say, like I said,
typically, when people consider suing a billionaire, the first thought that doesn't come to their head is, wow, they have $1 billion. There's so much money I could get from them. The first thought that comes to their head is, wow, they have $1 billion, meaning that they'll be able to hire the best lawyers and absolutely drain my pockets and will likely be able to win even though they're guilty.
I don't know. I don't agree with that, because when someone's done something that is like bad, regardless of like them being a billionaire, millionaire, having lots of money, like you already know off the bat, if you come out with it, especially as a minor, like that's a payday.
Okay, so I just want to clarify. If any of them came out about it, sued him, and then he was held liable for sexually exploiting them, you would believe that they were sexually exploited, right?
If he went to court and he was deemed that, yes, for sure.
So you believe that he raped E. Jean Carroll?
No, I don't believe he raped her.
But it went to court and that's what it was deemed as.
It wasn't deemed as rape, though.
Oh, it wasn't. Define the word rape.
It's when you're being taken advantage without consent.
Okay. Would an example of that be for a man to forcefully penetrate a woman's vagina with his fingers unconsensually?
Well, the thing is with her, like when she said the things that she said.
Can you answer my question? Would an example of rape, given your definition, be a man forcefully penetrated a woman's female member with his fingers?
That's sexual assault, yes. I wouldn't say, I mean, they classify rape as when they're using their, right?
So I'm asking you for your definition of rape. What is your
My definition? I mean, if a guy did that to me, I would say he sexually assaulted me. I wouldn't say he raped me.
Okay, so then once again, define the word rape.
Okay, well, why don't we Google it?
So just to clarify, you're telling me that you don't know what the definition of the word rape is, but you do know if a woman has her vagina violated by a man's fingers, that's not rape.
No, I'm saying rape. I wouldn't consider somebody putting their fingers there rape. I would say that's sexual assault.
Why wouldn't that be rape?
Because they're not using their, you know.
So can women rape women? Can cis women rape cis women?
I mean, I wouldn't say rape. That's what I'm saying. I would say they sexually assault them. I wouldn't say they rape them.
Wow. So cis women can't rape cis women.
I wouldn't say, consider it. What do you mean cis women?
We'll just use the word woman. So women can't rape women.
Why do you say cis? I don't understand that.
That's not what the topic of debate is about. So I'm just going to use the word woman. So I'm just going to operate on
so
your
if a woman,
so you don't think that women can rape women? Just to clarify.
I think they can sexually assault them. They're
but they can't rape each other.
I mean, I've never thought of it that way. Honestly.
So rape doesn't occur in women's prisons.
Woman on woman.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about textbook definition in like jurisdictions, like I wouldn't consider it rape. I would say they would say it's
sexual
that
is so
abuse.
fucking invalidating to so many victims. Can men rape men?
Well, I mean, it like you're talking about something that's so
Can they?
broad.
Tell me, can men rape men?
I mean, it depends on what type of act you're talking
What?
about.
Just can men rape other men?
Yes, if they penetrate their, then yes, I believe that's rape.
Oh, okay, so men could rape men, but women can't rape women.
I don't think that a woman is, if she were to attack another woman and touch her in areas, they would consider that sexual abuse, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. So
lawfully. Let's speak more
you're
lawfully.
wrong. You're absolutely wrong. 35 of our 50 states legally define rape as the penetration of one's private parts with anything.
Okay, well, he wasn't accused of being a rapist. He was accused of sexual assault. And then
So like, what about like objects? If like one person were to forcefully penetrate another person with an object, would that other person be a victim of rape?
yeah.
Okay, so any penetration with any object is rape.
Yeah.
Okay, so the penetration of E. Jean Carroll's vagina with the object of Donald Trump's fingers was rape.
I mean, I don't look at it like because somebody said something, this is what it is.
Well, now you're
I
obviously
just-
getting away from the point, because what the jury, determined is that he penetrated her vagina with his fingers. And you just agreed that the penetration unconsensually with any object of one's female member would be rape, and that is exactly what the jury ruled to be true in the circumstance. So can we agree that in accordance with your definition
Yeah,
and mine,
but
the jury ruled him to have raped her?
didn't they deem it as that because of things he said in his past? There was like no
Listen,
evidence.
We'll get on to a conversation about the evidence to prove that it happened. But before we do, can we agree that in accordance with your definition of rape and mine, which would include the penetration of a woman's female member with any object, that the jury determined that he raped her?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay, perfect. So earlier when you told us that if one of those pageant girls had come out and sued Donald Trump and won the suit, proving that they were sexually exploited by Donald Trump, then you'd believe it. So therefore, in accordance with your logic, you should believe E. Jean Carroll. But clearly that's not the case because you're a MAGA cultist. So you're just kind of lying to us and making shit up on the go to make excuses insofar as why you do not believe that Donald Trump is guilty of sexual exploitation, even though you listen to him admit to it. The goalpost always shifts with you people. It is fucking ridiculous. Donald Trump can admit to sexual exploitation. It's not enough unless one of the victims were to sue him and take it to court. But once one of his victims does sue him and take him to court and then proves his fucking guilt, all of a sudden that's not enough because you think the jury was dishonest, biased against Trump, and ruled his guilt even though he was innocent. There's no
I didn't
fucking
say that.
line. Let me ask you
that.
another question here about the E. Jean Carroll court case. You said there wasn't enough evidence. If a piece of evidence in that court case was him literally admitting to doing it, would you believe that he did it?
If he admitted to it, yeah.
Yeah. So then why don't you believe his admission of guilt to Howard Stern as it would relate to the sexual exploitation of beauty pageant contestants?
But that's not the same thing. That's the thing.
Why
You're
is it not the
twisting
same
and
thing?
changing it because
it not?
he was saying on the interview how he got away with doing things pretty much that other men couldn't do, like go into those spaces because he was the owner. Like, that's not a statement that you could applaud, but it wasn't as if he was trying to, like, say, well, I'm a creep and I go into these places to be a creep. Like, he would go into them because he was the owner. Like, he was supposed to go and check things, and he's the one running the show. So it's like everything's twisted, and with the Eugene thing.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Here's the end of that clip.
And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Donald Trump says, and I sort of get away with things like that, after talking about how he'd barge into the dressing rooms of the beauty pageant contestants. What did he mean by that?
I mean, personally, I think he means that he gets away with it like other men aren't able to do that, but he is. Because he's the owner.
Listen, other people don't get to start a live stream and broadcast their thoughts to 20,000 people like me. But I still wouldn't say that, therefore, I get away with broadcasting my thoughts to 20,000 people.
But you do
that
get
phrase doesn't seem to make sense there, even though I'm doing something that other people wouldn't have the ability to do. Okay, so seemingly,
so do you get away
we
with?
We don't use the phrase getting away with something relative to just being able to do something that other people can't do. You know,
Okay,
like I'll
and
give you
do
another.
you-
KP, sit
can I
down. Stop
say some-
interrupting. I'll give you another example of this.
But
So-
see, you don't let anyone talk.
Well, because I'm speaking, KP, I'm almost done. So another example of like this notion of being able to do something that other people can't do. Think of like really cool skills, like great artists. Only some people are really good at art. A lot of people suck. So do good artists, quote unquote, get away with being good at art because a lot of people aren't good at art? Like, no, that's not terminology that we would use after the Mona Lisa was painted. You didn't get away with painting the Mona Lisa just because not many other people could. So my point here would be when Donald Trump at the end of the clip says he gets away with it, it's not merely because he's doing something that other people wouldn't be able to do. It's because he did something wrong. We quote unquote get away with the wrong things that we do if we're able to do those wrong things and then not be held accountable.
Okay. So do I have the mic now? Or
Yeah.
do you want me to, I can stand up now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm standing up. But anyway, so would you say that you get away with insulting people quite often, frequently, on the day-to-day basis? Yes or no, Mr. Withers?
actually, yes. There is examples of me getting away with insulting people because that it's not necessarily right to insult people, but sometimes I'll get away with insulting people because, well, the person that I'm insulting is saying super gross shit, or the person that I'm insulting is a Trump supporter, or
and
you know, people have a positive view of me because of what I do. So I'm sure that there are circumstances where I've really taken it too far and I've like issued an insult that I shouldn't have issued that I then got away with because people were willing to ignore it because I was talking to a Trump supporter, right? But you're actually just like proving my point.
Like you even having people call.
You're proving my point here perfectly.
No. Well, you didn't.
I am. The way that you're proving my point here, KP, is because we just agreed that the way we use that phrase "getting away with" is going to be used to describe something bad that somebody is doing that they then face no consequences for.
Right. But is it something that, like, okay, if you went and you insulted all of these people the way that you do in person, do you think you would get away with it, Mr. Withers?
Well, yes, because I tell people how it is to their face. But that's not the point. The point is, now that we've agreed that we use that phrase, getting away with it, relative to a bad thing that will do to face no consequences. So what was Donald Trump doing that was bad? Because you told me that you think he was just talking about this standard operational procedure.
No, I wasn't saying something bad. I said he did something that other men couldn't do, right?
Well, other
like
men
you
can't go
even
live. Listen, I've already described this. Other men couldn't go live like me and broadcast to 20,000 people, but I don't quote unquote get away with live streaming to 20,000 people. You know, other men couldn't be like Leonardo da Vinci and just paint beautiful paintings, but Leonardo da Vinci didn't quote unquote get away with painting beautiful paintings. You know, other men couldn't be like Obama and be president and loved by the people, but that doesn't mean that Obama got away with being president. That's just not the way that we use that phrase. Once again, we only use that phrase, they got away with something, if they were able to do something wrong and then face no consequences.
But why would you view him entering a woman's only zone as bad? I'm just asking the question. Because why? Because other men, I'll answer it for you, because other men cannot do that, right?
No.
That's exactly
actually
why.
Not the reason.
Yes.
No, that's actually not the reason.
Other men could not walk back there.
No. The reason why it would be wrong for a man, that's not the reason, actually, no.
That's where I'm explaining why getting away with it would make sense.
Let me describe to you.
But that doesn't click in your head.
Let me tell you why it'd be bad for Donald Trump.
That's what's so crazy is that doesn't click in your head.
No,
you twist it and turn it into he's getting away with being a weirdo pedophile.
I need to help you here.
That's pretty sad.
I need to help you here. KP, I need to help you here.
Okay, go ahead.
The bad thing about Donald Trump barging into the woman's only private space has nothing to do with other men. Zero.
It had everything to do with other men. If he's entering a no-men zone and he's a man entering it, what does that mean? He's getting away with going into a space that men are not typically supposed to go into, right?
The bad thing.
Is that right? Yes or no?
No.
No? What? Then how?
I'm trying, but you just keep on interrupting me every time I try to open my mouth.
You know what? I'll give you one thing. You haven't muted me, so go ahead.
The thing that's wrong with Donald Trump walking into the dressing room has nothing to do with any other man and is all to do with the consent that he's violating of the women inside of the dressing room. If every woman in that dressing room sat down with one another...
I'm coming to the golf cart. Hold on.
If every woman in that dressing room sat down with one another and unanimously agreed, with no pressure, no coercement, that Donald Trump is at this moment in time allowed into the space and invited him inside, there'd be nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Okay? What's wrong about it is the fact that that's not what happened. What's wrong about it is the fact that it was without consent.
But you don't know that. Some women have testified or have given their testimony saying that they were alerted. That's the thing. That's why it's like you can pick and choose. You can cherry pick what you want to believe and what you want to spew all around to other people. But in reality, you know, there are people saying that they were alerted. And I've been a part of the modeling world. I know what it's like in these backstage.
By default, if a man walks into a private woman's only space, it is unconsensual. By default. No ums, no ands, no buts, period. By default, if a man walks in to a woman's only space, it is without consent. It would actually be your burden to prove that it was with consent. And if you can't prove that it was with consent, then by default, it is sexual exploitation. This is a stupid question that you're asking. Dean, can you prove it was out without consent? That is necessarily by default implied by the sanctity that a woman's only space upholds to begin with. When we will read a news story about a man barging into a Planet Fitness bathroom or a pedophile following little girls into the girls' room, we never ask, was it permissed? Was it allowed? Was there consent? Can we prove that it was without consent? We never ask that because by default, it's without consent. You are the one who has the burden to prove that there was consent if you want to posit that it was not sexual exploitation. It's your burden, KP, not mine.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is that's why he would say he gets away with it. That was my point. And he, like the gentleman, Josh, said earlier, he never said he was walking in on Teen Miss USA girls. It was women. And whenever, I've been in modeling things where we're alerted that somebody, a male member, is coming into the room, and the girls that do not mind them being seen the way that they are will stay in that position and don't care. And I'm not saying that to be because I can't speak for all those pageant people, but I was, like I said from the beginning, I think Josh made great points, and it just seemed like a smear campaign to go against Trump. As soon as he's running, it's like...
Okay, so if the naked women didn't care, then why did they say they did care?
When did they say they cared?
When they were asked about it, when he ran for the presidency?
I mean, that's the thing.
So it's actually your belief that they were told in advance that he was going to be going into this space, and they didn't care, okay? And then they only said that they cared when he started running for president. Perfect. Prove it. Prove that Tasha Dixon was told in advance that Donald Trump was going to barge in on her while she was naked, and she got that heads up. She stayed naked. She didn't care, and she only said otherwise when he ran for president. Prove it. Prove your fucking bullshit, lady.
I mean, I would have to interview her personally.
So you admit that you don't have proof. So you admit that you are baselessly positing that these women actually consented to Donald Trump looking at their naked bodies and only switched up years later because that is what is convenient to you and your narrative, not because it's what is actually true.
No, I said that was a good point.
The sophistry and the bullshit that you idiots engage in on a day-to-day basis on this live stream makes me want to throw up. And I'm not fucking joking either. It is legitimately grotesque. You, Josh, all of the little rape apologists that run around and just create your own version of reality where Trump didn't do anything wrong and they all wanted it. And then they switched up the last moment after he started running for... There's no evidence. It's bullshit. It's a fucking fairy tale. It is a goddamn perverted, disgusting fairy tale.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. You get really upset. Are you okay?
I think if you do not get upset at the suggestion that they wanted it, the same suggestion that has been made for generations in an attempt to be apologetic to admitted rapists, admitted sexual exploiters, then you are a part of the problem.
So you don't believe that testimony can be false? You don't believe that people smear high-profile people, and then when there's no evidence to back it up, like that's pretty much what we're
backstage
in.
before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no... Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with it.
Stop saying there's no evidence. Stop it. You're lying to me, and you're lying to yourself. And it's disgusting. It is so disgusting. The evidence is right there in his own words. There's no evidence. There's no evidence. Guys, there's no evidence, guys.
Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things.
You're there.
Yeah, the
No
dress. Is
evidence.
everyone okay? They're standing there with no...
No
Is
evidence.
everybody okay? And you see no men are anywhere. Go backstage before a show.
No evidence.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere.
No evidence, right, KP? No evidence? None at all?
Yeah, but I think it's still twisted for your agenda.
Okay, so what do you hear? Let's go beat by beat. Let's put a finger on that pulse.
Before a show.
We're gonna pause every 3 or so seconds, and you're gonna tell me what you heard in the last 3 seconds.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it.
Did we just hear Donald Trump say that he was allowed to go into a private space where no men were, where women were getting dressed and ready, because he was the owner of that space? Yes or no?
Yes, he said he was allowed.
Perfect.
So who do you
I'm
think he's
inspecting. I wanna
allowed
make
to
sure
by?
Well, he says in the clip he was allowed.
He's allowed,
by himself.
yeah.
Because
No,
he said
he didn't say by himself. He just
did.
said I'm allowed.
no, he did, because he said that I'm allowed because I'm the owner of this show and therefore I'm doing an inspection. It's the because I'm the owner of the show and therefore I'm doing the inspection. That's like the golden bullet here. If he just said because I'm the owner, then maybe you could engage in your little MAGA sophistry and say, oh, well, maybe the women were just okay with the owner in there. He's allowed because he was the owner because the women were okay with the owner. You can't even say that because he said, and I quote, I'm allowed to go in there because I'm the owner and therefore I'm doing an inspection. He's saying that he possesses this privilege, this entitlement to enter into the space, not because the women were specifically okay with him going in there, not because the women were specifically okay with the owner, regardless of who the owner was going in there, but rather specifically because he was the owner and therefore he could create the entitlement of an inspection of the place, of the space, to get himself inside.
Right. I mean, it's definitely arrogant. It's not a...
But can we agree there that he's saying the only reason why he's allowed to go in there has nothing to do with the thoughts of the women inside and has all to do with his position of power and his ability to manipulate that position of power to create an entitlement of entry?
I mean, yeah, I can definitely say that statement doesn't look good. That's
Okay,
for sure
so now we've
wrong.
agreed that he entered into the space without the consent of the women inside.
But
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no... Is everybody okay? And you see...
And then he says that they don't have any clothes on. So now we've agreed that he went into that space without the consent of the women inside and would look at them while they're naked. So do you think that unconsensually looking at a naked woman is unconsensual sexual conduct?
I mean, if it's in a space that it's only women and the man's being brought in unexpectedly, yes, it's not right.
Okay, so now we've agreed that it's unconsensual sexual conduct, right?
Right.
Okay, so is unconsensual sexual conduct the foundation of sexual exploitation?
Yep.
Okay, so therefore we agree it's sexual exploitation.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't look good on him, that's for sure.
So now we've agreed that Donald Trump is culpable for the sexual exploitation of women, correct?
I mean, like you said, he said it in his own testimony.
Correct. Do you think people who are guilty of violent sexual crimes should be able to flip burgers at McDonald's?
I mean, do I personally think? No.
So then why do you personally think that they should be president?
I mean, that's a great question.
It is the defeater question. It is the question that would change the mind of anybody who's open-minded, but yet for whatever reason, genuinely hadn't thought this deep before. That's it right there. That's the grand finale. You accept that Donald Trump is guilty of this violent sexual crime. You share with me that you don't think people who are guilty of these crimes should even be flipping burgers at McDonald's. It would clearly entail that neither should they have access to the nuclear codes as president of the world's most powerful country. And that should be the end of the conversation. That should be the end of your support for Trump.
I mean, I definitely 100% see where you're coming from. I just think that the way at times that you go about it doesn't give your side the best look.
Yeah, you called me a predator the last time we spoke. I don't think that you have any ability to speak on the basis of personal attacks, insults, so on and so forth.
No, I didn't call you a predator, but
you admitted to calling me a predator the last time you joined this live.
No, I said I was using it as an example.
But I don't even care. I just want to stay. I want to stick on the subject of substance. Do you still support Trump as president?
Honestly, I'm not feeling like it's something that I could stand for when all the things are brought into light, but I just hope good for the country. That's all I can say, is that
hoping good for the country would include calling out the bad actors that are damaging the country.
Well, also, though, when you look at the Democrat side, there's also some things that are not good as well.
Okay.
And that's where it's like, there's good on both sides, I think. Well, then there's bad on both sides. So
do you still listen? I think that two things could be true at once. Like for example, Thomas Massie hates the Democrats, and a lot of Democrats don't really like him. I'm one of them. Okay, I think he's a piece of work. I still think that he's preferable to like 99% of Democrats in Republicans in Congress. And there's even a couple Democrats that I'd vote for him over. But the point here is that you can be on the right without supporting Trump. You could hate the left without supporting Trump. So I guess my question is that where you find yourself at this moment in time?
I mean, it's so hard to say because like everything that you're bringing up is like from so many years ago. So it just like, it doesn't completely say to me that there's no room for change within such a big time frame. I think that everyone does have, I mean, when I listen to him talk and the things that he stands for, that's what motivates me to feel like he's definitely better than Kamala. But then when you bring up his past from 20 years ago, it's like, I can't stand here and say, yeah, he's a great person.
If he had changed and went from being the perpetuator of sexual exploitation to the, white knight of women and girls, then he wouldn't have blocked the release of the Epstein files. He wouldn't have had his own name redacted over 1 million times. He
But
wouldn't
I read
have
that he was actually
Pam
the
Bondi
one.
perjure herself.
I read that he was actually the one to release like them, and they released like 3 million files.
Okay. All right. So what happened was the House of Representatives wanted to release the Epstein files. Donald Trump's White House told them it would be an act of hostility against the administration. So then pretty much all Republicans but 3 hopped off board. Then they were 1 vote off of a majority to force a vote for the release of the files. Then Arizona 7th District held a special election to elect Adelita Grajova, who vowed to be that last and final vote for the majority to force the vote on the release of the files. Then Donald Trump had a self-described puppet, the chair of the House, blank on his name, he's a little bit of a forgettable little guy, delay the swearing-in ceremony of Adelita Grajova. But then inevitably, once Adelita Grajova was sworn in, and then they had a majority to force a vote for the release of the Epstein files in the House, then Donald Trump personally went to Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace, and asked them to take their names off of the discharge petition list. All of them said no. He punished every single one of them. He pushed MTG out of politics altogether. He vetoed Lauren Boebert's clean water bill, and he, has been flaming Thomas Massie on Truth Social every night ever since. So then once they got the majority required to force the vote, okay, then after all of the politically viable opportunities to prevent the release of the files were out the window, Donald Trump said, I fully endorse this, go vote, go vote, go vote. But then even after they vote, he broke the law by not releasing all the files a month after the bill passed. And then Pam Bondi broke the law by only releasing 10% of the files 2 months after the law passed. And then they broke the law again by not explaining the illegal redactions that they made. And then they broke the law again by releasing another 2 million files with 4 million to go, claiming that was going to be the end of it. And then Donald Trump broke the law by intentionally concealing documents inside of the Epstein files alleging him of child rape. And we've just continually seen this cover-up of the files that has been checked by the voice of the people and checked by Congress and been begrudgingly complied with by the White House. But I mean, even today, they haven't complied with the totality of the law. There's still like another 90% of the files that are redacted illegally that we need to get unredacted, and another 3,000 files that haven't been released at all that we just need to get released, point blank, period.
So you're saying all of that happened before he signed in 2025? When he signed
like 50%
it into law?
The first 50% of that happened before he signed it into law. The second 50% of it happened after he signed it into law.
Okay, so you're saying like before he signed it into law, he fought to like not have them released?
Tooth and nail.
And then he just tried, and then he changed his mind all of a sudden and signed it? Or you feel like he was just pressured?
It wasn't changing his mind. There's just nothing else that he could do to prevent Congress from passing that bill, which then would put him in the situation of having to veto the bill, which would have been, it would have killed him. It would have actually killed him. Like for the first time ever, Donald Trump would have made a move too terrible that nobody, even those deep inside of the MAGA cult, would have been able to defend it. So he said, all right, I agree with you guys. I'll sign the bill into law, because what he recognized is that, well, he could sign the bill into law forcing them to release the files, but then not actually release them, just break the law, then pivot and deflect away by, like, for instance, starting a war in Iran.
Wow. Well, yeah, I didn't know all of that. Thank you for sharing that. So who were the people that he was going against to not release them?
Yes,
Yeah.
the Republicans that said they wanted to release them. Thomas Massie, Nancy Mace, Lauren Boebert, and MTG.
Okay, wow, okay. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
I'll definitely look into that. Yeah, I mean, those things I didn't know. And when I listened to the things that because you know how the algorithm pushes everything that you like, more what is appealing to you. Right. So when I listen to the things, like, it's pushing the other way. I've never heard what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, all of these things individually did happen. They just probably aren't talked about by people on the right. You know, you could fact check all of these things. You could fact check Donald Trump vetoing Lauren Boebert's clean water bill as a retaliatory attack in response to her not taking her name off the discharge petition list. You could fact check the fact that the White House admitted to pressuring them into taking their names off the discharge petition list. You could fact check MTG being pushed out of politics because of this. You could fact check, Thomas Massie being grilled by Donald Trump day in and day out. He does that publicly. You could fact check his administration labeling it as an act of hostility against them to vote for the release of the files.
What? That's insane. I've never heard of this, honestly. Are you serious?
Yeah.
What? And what was his reasoning for not wanting to release them? Do you know that?
He called them a Democratic hoax that we just need to leave in the past.
Wow. Wow, okay, well, you got some good points there.
Yeah. I'm actually reading into this a bit further because I was telling you that you could fact check it, then I just started fact checking myself. Caroline Leavitt did a press briefing, and she stated that any Republicans supporting the bipartisan push to force the vote on the full release of the Epstein files would be considered as committing a very hostile act to the administration.
What? Why? I'm sorry, my mind's blown. Just because they're saying it's a... Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I listened to her too, Caroline.
Yeah, that should be like the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't want them released. But,
Right.
Wow. Well, my dad's like on the other side now. He used to support Trump, and then my mom's full Trump. So it's like, I see what my dad's saying, but I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of the faith is what pulls us towards Trump.
The Christian
Sadly.
faith?
Yeah, that's why, because he claims, the faith. So automatically, as a believer, we would want to follow somebody that
Kamala Harris also claimed
follows
the faith.
the faith,
Kamala Harris also claimed the faith, but she just didn't make it a talking point of her administration.
Right. Well, it's just the things that she stood for I didn't completely agree with, but having the facts that you're pulling in front of me, I'd have to obviously go fact check it myself, but that's just not right in my opinion.
Yeah. And then even about claiming the faith, man, I don't know. I think of every action that he engages in as so clearly anti-Christian, with cheating on all of his wives, sexually exploiting the beauty pageant contestants, never apologizing for it, saying that, he's never asked God to forgive any of his sins in his life, killing the 174 Iranian girls at the elementary school, and about 1 billion other points as well. This clearly isn't a man of faith. Okay, saying that you're a Christian doesn't make you a Christian, contrary to popular opinion. There's some works that are required. The primary work that is unanimously agreed to would be sanctification, which would be the overwhelming process of becoming a better person over the course of your life. But that would require, feeling bad for the wrong things that you do, holding yourself accountable and trying to do better. And that's just clearly not what Trump does.
Right.
If you could point me towards one example of him ever apologizing for anything that he's done, I'll happily concede. But I mean, there's just not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow him that closely to name anything, but I did see, all I've seen is just that, he supports the Christian movement and believes that our country should be under God.
And, look at the people that he's hung out with all of his life. Does he have, the average Christian hanging out with him at Mar-a-Lago? Or does he have the Jeffrey Epsteins, the Ghislaine Maxwells, and the P. Diddy's of the world hanging out with him at Mar-a-Lago? He wouldn't let you into Mar-a-Lago. He wouldn't care that you claim that Jesus is king. He'd probably have a Secret Service guard tackle you. My point here is that he's never been a Christian. He doesn't surround himself with Christians. I'm going to move on to the next guest. I'm really happy that a lot of the points in which I brought up seem to resolve within you all, but have a good one. Let's go and get the next guest loaded up into the box. Hello?
Yo, sorry, buddy. I just came up to see if you're still LARPing, doing this LARP shit.
It's Brock! Brock!
Yeah,
Are
buddy,
you
I got nothing to say, really. Just want to see if you're still doing this LARPing shit, and of course you are. Pathetic.
Can you still only pronounce one 3-syllable word?
I can pronounce multiple syllable words.
Oh, yeah, okay. Name 3 3-syllable words.
Hercules. Minnesota.
I actually
Syllable.
think Minnesota. That's 4 syllables, buddy.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's at least minimum 3. So.
No, I asked you to name 3 3-syllable words. I did not ask you to name 3 minimum 3-syllable words.
Okay, well, I don't care.
You don't care? Guess what?
You quite literally can tell that I probably know more 3-syllable words than you could ever think of in your
Okay,
whole life.
then name every 3-syllable word ever, Brock.
I don't have to. I just wanted to see if you're still LARPing, and it's pathetic.
What do you mean?
should
I'm not LARPing.
You should actually you should actually just quit this and go
What am I LARPing as?
Just go fill out a job application, little bro.
Why? This is my job, Brock.
Oh, it's not your job.
Yeah, define job, buddy. Define that silly little word.
What do you have to do for your job? Do you sign in a piece of paper so you're here at work and you go do physical labor, or do you sit on your balls and ass all day and talk shit out of your ass?
Well, I don't sit on my balls. That'd be painful, Brock. But I do sit on my ass and cook frauds like you.
That's hilarious.
It is hilarious. It is so fucking hilarious watching you little MAGA twerps squirm, buddy. I'm much more of a man than you could ever be. Look at the calluses on my goddamn hands.
Yeah, that's hilarious. You've never even seen a real callus in your life.
I've never seen a real callus in my life. I'm looking at them right now.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
They're about
buddy.
to pop off my hand. Those
I
are
got
real right
two.
there.
Listen, I got
I don't
two
see 'em.
callus. Those are fake calluses. Those are callus stickers off
They're about to
Temu.
pop off my hand.
Those are those are callus
callus.
stickers off Temu. It's a little sticker you put on there
I
to make
actually
yourself
work.
look like a
I
real
was just
man.
chopping logs the other day and pulling weights all day long for 3 hours every single day. I've told you that multiple times. You know it's true.
Are you still a Trump supporter?
Dude, I low-key stopped supporting him like a year ago because he's not following through with what he says. I mean, we got to deport more. We had we got rid of the Isla Toila. The Isla Toila is good. We need to get rid of them. They're gone. So keep doing that. We can bomb the hell out of the whole Middle East. I don't give a shit. Make Israel greater. Make it bigger. Get all the oil there. I don't give a shit.
Oh, Brock, that's pretty gross.
I don't think so, bro. It's a gross world we live in, man. Have you ever been outside in nature? You see what animals do to each other? We're animals. We're organisms. Animals eat each other. There's something called the food chain. You have to do stuff to survive.
So you think that we need to completely bomb the Middle East and build the greater Israel for survival?
For oil. I mean, oil survival. If we don't have our oil, then
oil.
how are people going to be driving around in their cars all day? You got to go to work.
Okay, so
I don't give a
we need
shit.
to. So you think that Israel's going to give us the oil?
I mean, who else would it? Of course they'll give us the oil.
Okay, so that's what we need to do. We need to give Israel all the oil, then get the oil from Israel.
So, yeah, you can do that. I mean, Israel basically is just a little separate America. It's another America that we propped up in the Middle East to basically gain control over that region.
Isn't that kind of anti-Semitic though? That like we kicked all the Jewish people out of America and just sent them over across the ocean?
It's not real. I haven't heard of that one.
That
before.
actually,
That's nuts.
well, that's what happened after World War II. There was a shit ton of Jewish refugees that came to America, and then we said we don't want them. No, we don't want all the Jewish refugees. Go make your own country over there. Isn't that kind of anti-Semitic?
Yeah, I mean, that would be anti-Semitic, I guess. And it's a horrible thing that happens. There's people who are anti-Semitic. There's people who are racist. It's horrible.
Okay,
I don't agree with that.
Yeah. Well, Brock, I think that you're an absolute moron.
Well, you're an absolute goofball.
I mean, earlier you're calling me a
larva.
larva.
Dry as shit. You need to put conditioner in your hair.
Well,
the reason fucking pop out of your head.
The reason why you probably think that my hair is dry as shit is because yours is always greasy because you never shower, Brock.
That's hilarious. My hair is luxurious.
No, it's greasy. Big difference.
It's hilarious. People love it when they run their hands through my hair.
What do? Scream and run away? Then
they run their hands through my hair. They love it.
Well, I mean, they scream, right? And you probably think that's like an exciting scream. No, that's
you've never had anyone touch you in your life, dude.
Well, Do you? I'm sorry. That's just a weird way to like go about like making.
You've never had that ever
just,
happen, so you can't say stuff that you never experienced before. If someone were to run their hands through your head, you'd go bald, dude.
I would not go bald if somebody ran their hand through my head. Why would you think that?
Because your hair is about to fall out of your damn head, dude.
What? This is a really weird line of dialogue. I think that your brain is already fallen out of your head.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you don't have to continue talking to me, man. You could drop me. I literally just came out to see if you're LARPing, and you still clearly
well,
are.
Actually, can I have you thank a couple people for the LARP real quick, bro?
No, it's okay, man.
Because I just looked over at my YouTube. Holy shit. Dustin, thank you so much for the $400 on Super Chat. My God.
That's ridiculous. What do you do with that money, dude? You actually donate it to food banks or something? You don't do nothing.
Oh my God. No, I just claim it as a business loss, pay $0 in taxes, and then spend it on giving people $1 million to vote for me. Oh, wait, that's... Brock, what does that sound?
I'm filling up my water real quick. I'm about to go outside and go do some stuff outside. I need to fill up my water.
Dustin, I'm like still really just like... Dustin, I'm sorry for like quickly like getting distracted away from thanking you and reading out your donation. I think maybe the one thing that could quickly pivot my attention in like less than 30 seconds away from a $400 donation is probably somebody pissing in my ear. So I do apologize. He was not filling up a bottle of water. It was not that. It was not doing that, dude. Not at all. Okay, but anyways, no, back to you, Dustin. I'm so very grateful for you. Like that is like legitimately fucking insane. Thank you. Thank you so very much for the love. I want to see 10,000 Dustin W's down below in that comment section. Thank you so much. Dustin with the 200 says, she's a troll and a horrible person with kids. These people are the dumbest cult members I've ever met. Dustin sent that earlier when we were talking to the last guest, KP, who actually did end up coming around a little bit. But thank you so much for the love, Dustin. And then with a second $200 says, oh, great, another dipshit. Dude paid $200 just to call Brock a dipshit. You are so fucking cool. Okay, that's Dustin spelled D-U-S-T-O-N. Show some massive, massive love to Dustin down below. Then Full Band, thank you for the $20, who says Brick is an absolute moron. Couldn't have said it better myself, Full Band. Oh my God, I do not miss that guy. Pissing on live. What an asshole, dude. Then Neo, thank you for the $20, who says, I'm sure that many people are willing to forgive and forget just to find out that their forgiveness was abused. And the person who never improved themselves grew into a position of power as president, power over you and other women. That was a response to that KP's comments about how well he only sexually exploited them 15 years in the past. So like, why would we care today? And that's a really good point. Same thing to, oh, thank you for the $10. Thank you. Gopher, thank you for the $10. I really appreciate you, Gopher. And then Tori, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on YouTube. Let's get 500 Tori W's. Thank you so much for that support, Tori. Tori with the 50 says, to this woman you're speaking to, once again referencing KP, but she's off the live now. Ma'am, when I was 3 to 5 years old, I was raped around 40 times by men that were much older than me. Didn't say anything until I was 25. Do you believe me? Do I have evidence? You're a huge part of the problem. First and foremost, Tori, I'm so fucking sorry to hear that happened to you. That is like legitimately, God, like the worst thing I think could ever happen to a human. And what your experiences are more than valid, and I'm so sorry if anyone would ever deny them. And I think that does really play into the problem that we hear described by many of the Trump supporters that will join our live. Well, oh, why did the woman never speak up or come out beforehand? She must be a liar now that she did speak up. It is the furthered perpetuation of rape culture, which doesn't just undermine the victims of Trump, but also demeans the experiences of victims across the globe. Thank you. Thank you so much for the $50, Tori. And then Stephen Trun, thank you so much for the $50 donation on YouTube. But don't spam W's for Stephen in the comment section, because we got to read his message. Who says, Dean is a hypocrite. He told the first guest that he doesn't debate the same people, yet will debate the same people in the past over and over. Creed, Liam, KP, Josh, who's next? Jill, Midnight. Prove me wrong and stop bringing them up for 1 month. So, Stephen, I don't know if you didn't, pick up what I said earlier and you want to intentionally misinterpret it. Ty, thank you for the galaxy. I said that I don't debate people more than like 10 times, and that's absolutely true. You were referencing somebody who we had brought up on the live stream over 20 times. Torta Patrol, he's a very common name, somebody that we've spoken to a lot. And the names that you gave, like Creed, you know, if you'll notice, we kicked Creed out in less than 5 minutes because I've talked to him so much. Liam, we don't debate Liam. I bring him up to tell him I pushed him in a push-up competition, then we move on. KP, we just changed your goddamn mind. Thanks, Steven. And then Jill, she's permanently banned from my live stream because I've all debated them too much. So, Steven, I know that you sent that donation to Heckle, but thank you for the $50. I'll be spending that on a nice dinner. Also, thank you so much, Nike, for the 10 Canadian dollars. I appreciate you so much. And then Anthony, thank you for another 50 Canadian over on Super Chat. Let's get 500 Anthony W's for the $50. Who says, Dean, I just wonder, do Trump supporters understand the financial hole this war is putting us in, not realizing that money could be spent on Americans in any other fashion? Yeah, no, absolutely, Anthony. We're spending over $1 billion a day on this war, and they were freaking out over like $10 million over the course of a year through USAID, claimed that it was the largest government fraud ever uncovered, and that, you know, no one should ever vote Democrat because of it ever again. But then when he spends $1 billion a day, you know, no one gives a shit, right? Thank you so much for the $50, Anthony. Then Pay, thank you for the $10. Who says happy 1 year anniversary and many more to come. Thank you so much. San, thank you for the 10. And then Nike, thank you for another 10. And with that, we are all caught up over on Super Chat. I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for all the fucking love. You guys have all been so like unbelievably kind. Quickly on Vimeo, Tyler, thank you so much for the $5. Who says, since you yesterday getting spit in your mouth, you should definitely get an STD test, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. I've been like really concerned about that. Like yeah, jeez. I'm probably gonna go to the hospital and do that tomorrow. JD, thank you for the $2. Kate, thank you for the $5. Who says, thanks for sticking in there with these folks who genuinely changed that caller's mind. You've given me hope. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Kate. And then Sammy, thank you so much for the $50 donation on Venmo. Let's get another 500 W's for Sammy. Sammy with a 50 says, happy 1 year. As a daily I'm a daily watcher, but I have to take a break after listening to 3 hours of people defending a predator. It's just too much. No, I get you, Sammy. It's too much for me, so I completely understand why it'd be too much for you. Courtney, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo. Appreciate you so much for that love. And then Bethany, thank you for the 10. Thank you so much. Also, Bethany, I'm going to keep that to myself. That's crazy, though. Stephanie, thank you for the $20. Who says, Dean, she knows that she would not be okay with Donald Trump entering into the dressing room with her daughter inside. I think that Stephanie's referencing KP. That donation was sent in 20 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm happy because after you likely sent that donation message, it seems like we were able to change her mind. And then Fussy and Cooper, appreciate you both for the $10. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ivy, thank you for the 6. And then Elizabeth, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Let's get 200 Elizabeth W's. Elizabeth says, hey, Dean, huge congrats on your 1 year. Would love some advice. I've never been to a protest before. I don't know anyone in my area. I don't have a poster or anything. How do I get involved with a No Kings protest? Thank you so much for all that you do. Well, if you just look up No Kings Day protests, insert your city here, you'll get results from 5150 and different organizational groups that are definitely running protests in your area. And just show up. You know, you don't need to show up with a friend. Indivisible, look them up too. You don't need to show up with a sign. Just show up. You know what I mean? And that is a great way to get into it. What I'd particularly say is worth checking out would be mobilize.us. That is mobilize.us. They have an interactive map for the totality of the country where they will actually show you all of the protests. So you'll be able to find the closest protests to your area. Thank you for the $20. Same thing to Kamani. Thank you so much for the $55 donation on Venmo. Thank you so much for that love, Kamani. Kamani says, hey, Dean, I hope that you drag that nasty man straight to hell for what he did to you. Happy 1 year anniversary to your streams. Next month, it'll be 1 year of me discovering you and tuning in daily. Love you. I love you too, Kamani. Thank you for the $55. You are awesome. And, I'm definitely going to be metaphorically dragging the shit out of him. Tass, thank you for the $5. Brianna, thank you for the $20. Who says, I'm grateful for the awareness that you spread. I'm doing great. I'm just getting married in June. Well, I hope that the marriage goes perfect, Brianna. That is so exciting. I'm so happy for you. Jocelyn, thank you so much for the $25 donation on Venmo. Thank you so much for that support. You are awesome. Alicia, thank you for the 15. Who says, keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Elisa. And then, my God, dude, holy shit. This is the last one on Venmo for now. Then we'll hop into that next debate. Miss Shelby, thank you so much for the $150 on Venmo. You, like, I don't even know what to say. I'm a little bit lost for words to you guys. you have just been so beyond kind. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, you guys have been so fucking kind. Not a bone in my body deserves this much love. It's honestly a bit overwhelming. Holy shit. Shelby with $150 says, Dean, we missed you. This is for the 1 year anniversary, the wife's B-day, and because I just found my cat does not have cancer. We thought she did. So to Momo as well. Well, shout out to your wife for her birthday. I'm happy that your cat doesn't have cancer, and thank you so much for the $150 in celebration of the 1 year anniversary of the show. That is so fucking kind of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. There's still a couple people that I do have to thank on PayPal, but for now we are just going to hop into that second debate, and then I'm going to thank you guys here in a moment. Welcome in, Hunter. Do you support Trump? Hello? Oh, Hunter's not here. All right, I guess we're just going to go ahead and kick you out, Hunter. Move on to the next guest. Only up inside of that queue. If you happen to be MAGA, we got Harley loading up into that box. Moving on. Welcome into Sport Trump.
Hey, what do you think on the war on Iran right now?
You're trying your best to fake an American accent. You have a good rest of your day, but war bad. Pretty simple. Over on PayPal, Miss Danielle, thank you so much for the $100 donation. Thank you so much for that love, Danielle. Let's get 1,000 Danielle W's down below, who says, not nearly enough to cover a therapist, but hopefully it helps. Thank you for a year of keeping us sane and informed. Danielle, I know that you've been watching for a very good chunk of that year. You have always been so kind and so supportive, and I'm so thankful for you. Please show some very extra special love to Danielle down below in that comment section for the $100 and the very, very kind words. As well as, I'm just going to read one more out for now. Miss Taisha, thank you so much for the $200 donation on PayPal. It says, it's Ty. Happy 1 year anniversary. Thank you for keeping class in session for 365 days of the year. Love you, dude. Bro, Ty, I love you too. Like I said, I'm just like, fucking, what is going on? So kind. So fucking kind. Show some love to Ty. That is TIAI, sorry. Thank you so much for the support, Ty. I'm happy that the streams mean something to you. I'm happy that you take something positive away from them. Show some love to Danielle. Show some love to Ty. Show some love to all the donors. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
So I wanted to address your comment that you made about the U.S. kicking out Jews after World War II. That's completely not wrong, not true at all. So after World War II, right, there were about 40,000
Are you a Trump supporter?
There were about 40,000 people after World War II.
I really appreciate corrections when I say something that's incorrect, but we also have to make sure that we're abiding by the rules of the stream. So are you a Trump supporter?
You got me. No.
Okay. All right. So then feel free to join my Discord and issue the correction in there and ping me. That's fine. I'll happily read what you have to say, but we are going to, follow the rules of the live stream. Let's go ahead and load up that next guest right now. Only up inside of that queue of your MAGA, please, and thank you. Make sure that you're abiding by and following the rules of the live stream. Thank you, guys. Next guest is, we're going to get them right now. We got Mark Grant Cooper loading up into the box. This guy looks like a Trump supporter. Hello, Mark. Do you support Trump? Hello, do you support Trump, Mark?
Yeah.
You don't?
I do.
You do? Okay. How long have you been growing that beard?
Been a while.
What's that?
Been a while.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Can you please repeat yourself again?
It's been a very long time.
Been a very long time. Okay. What time is it? Okay. You just left. Moving on to the next guest right now. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go to get the next guest loaded up into the box right now, guys. Do follow the rules of the live stream, please, and thank you. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. All right. We got the next guest connecting into the live stream right now. We got key loading up, guys. Do follow the rules. Make sure that you're MAGA if you're trying to join the live stream. And then Ellen, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on PayPal. He says, I call that a 99% conversion. Dead ass, fuck Trump. And Ellen, thank you so much for the $50 on PayPal. I would really appreciate if you guys would show some up to Ellen down below in that comment section. For those that don't know, Ellen sent me a $50 donation at the very start of the stream, telling me that she'll send me $50 for everybody's mind who I could change. And then she just sent me $50. I would assume in reference to KP. So Ellen, that is beyond kind of you, and thank you so much for the $50. And by the way, you don't have to send me a cent for changing minds. The gratification I get from that is just knowing that there's one less person out there that's going to turn around and vote for the MAGA cronies in midterms, right? Let's go to get that next guest connected to live stream right now. Hi, do you support Trump? Hello? Nope, she's not here. Moving on. Guys, we're still looking for the next guest. I'm really trying my best here. I really am. Miss Shelby, thank you so much for the $100 on PayPal. Oh my goodness, you guys. Let's get 1,000 Shelby W's. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you so much, Shelby. Shelby with a 100 says, happy 1 year. I don't miss a single debate, and thank you for all that you do and for standing up for what's right. Well, thank you, Shelby, for the $100 donation. There are so many of you guys that are being so fucking insanely kind today in celebration of, the 1 year anniversary of what we do. And just know that I'm so grateful for every single one of you. Please show some very special love to Shelby in that chat. Same thing with Pragya. Thank you for the $15, who says, I'm flying tomorrow for a debate conference, going through 2 airports ICE is reported to be at. As a brown girl, I'm terrified, but I feel a little bit safer knowing that racial profiling is not socially acceptable. Keep up the debates. I wish you the best of luck, Pragya, not just because of the nervousness because ICE is there, but also just because of the delays. And I hope that you get to where you're going untouched. Thank you so much for the $15. Joe, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. Thank you so much. And then Chris, thank you so much for the $20. And sure, yeah, I'll take a look at that, Chris. Thank you so much. Let's get 200 Chris W's down below in the comment section. That is a very kind offer of you, man. Well, welcome in, Davian. Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how old are you?
19.
And why do you support Trump?
I like his policies that he has to close the border and anti-abortion.
Okay, this will be really easy. What policies has he implemented to close the border?
Well, not really policies, but he's put more border patrol agents at the border.
Okay, yeah, but like more agents, more soldiers, it just doesn't really work, okay? We saw upwards of 30,000 deployed soldiers in a bipartisan effort between America and Mexico under the Biden